All righty. We are live. Woohoo! No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, thanks for reminding me here, Lisa. I've been sitting here all ready to go. How's everybody doing this evening? I was looking for more photos to show you guys. Um, Jeff here. Let's see. I was all prepared, and then now I'm a little screwed up. Okay. Hope everybody is having a good week. I know it's only Tuesday. We got a quick turnaround here because we got a show on this Saturday, and so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Port St Lucie this last Sunday. I'm going to talk about Andy being at the show this weekend with the chocolate. So I mean, those guys over in Kissimmee are tough, man. We can't have food in there unless we buy their concessions, which I think we have this time around. I mean, I don't remember seeing it on my bill because this is the one place where I have to pay them. I have to pay them to have concessions, okay, and then anyway, it's a long story, but I'll get into that. But anyway, so we'll have that, and then I'm going to talk about like I said, Port St Lucie a little bit first, and then I'm going to talk about a bunch of other stuff. So let's go ahead and just kind of giving a few minutes to get people going here coming in, and then I'll get started. Hey, Mike, thanks for coming out, Mike and Margaret. Hopefully, you had a good time in Port St Lucie, and then Mike will be at the show this weekend with his custom game collectibles. And Jonathan Smith, how are you? Thanks for coming out. And JD, thanks for coming out on. I should have taken you up on that computer, man. Oh well. Anyway, thanks for coming out and watching. And then we got a new vendor here, Felix Comics Corner. Looking forward to meeting you and seeing how you do. And then we have Chris. Chris is bringing out his entire game collection. He has not done a show in a long while with us, and then he is he's the originator of the Kissimmee Toy Show. Great show when he did it. He doesn't have time to do it. But he did a good job. I just want to put that out there. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Port St Lucie. We had the show this last Sunday. It was our third show in Port St Lucie at the same location. I think Keith did really well. I think you seen him and Kristen, his wife, seem to be really who helps them there. They seem to be real happy with the show. Keith lives here in Florida now, and then they have some great stuff, great people to talk to. He's got tons of stories. Just because that we focus on on showing him Adventures in Babysitting, Fox and Hound, and these other things. He was in a ton of other things as a kid. Chips. My wife was watching a episode with him where he was in Chips. He was in Knight Rider. He was in a lot of stuff, and he's connected with all these people. So he will be at the Tampa Toy Con in July, along with I'm going to announce some other people. I got to get that moving. Corin anyway, I'm going to get into that. I don't want to talk too much about that because I need to go through everybody's name. But basically, they were there. They had a pretty good time. We were about 100 people down from last May. We had about the same amount of people that we have in October. Now, why is that? I don't know. I don't know why that would be. We have a marketing system. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that could be. The economy, gas. To me, I feel like there's a lot of other shows still. Once we go somewhere, I don't want to sound like I'm anybody basically, but it seems like we're doing a lot of we're doing shows, and I try to kind of fill holes where there isn't a show, and then next thing you know, there's a bunch of shows. So anyway, I don't know what you're referring to, Mother's Day weekend. I'm not doing a show on Mother's Day weekend. I don't even want to do, honestly, the show this weekend in Kissimmee, which I'll get to in a minute. I normally wouldn't book that because it's Memorial Day weekend, okay? But I kind of got, without looking at the calendar, I kind of got tricked, sort of, because um, normally we have this show, and I'm just gonna bring this down and bring up Kissimmee here. Um, Normally we have this show in March, but when I asked them about March, they said, "Hey, they're charging $15 to park now." Okay. And in our show, our pricing is between $10 and $15 now. But I'm just like, it's killer, for those people in Kissimmee, I think. It's not like, the fairgrounds is getting expensive too over in Tampa, but people kind of know that there's parking, basically at every show, unless you're the home show or a RV show, something where the RV people, they can afford to buy those parking out. So because they want customers. I mean, not that we don't want customers, but it's a different business model. They're wanting to attract people to buy those, $100,000 RVs. We're just selling toys. So, and then so in general, just Kissimmee, to me, it just doesn't seem like it should be $15. But so what happened is I was I was offered this date this weekend, and I took it, not really looking at the calendar and saying, okay, wait a minute, that's Memorial Day weekend. Because normally May is a really kind of wacky month because there's a lot of holidays. Now, you can say, oh, Jeff, there isn't a lot of holidays, but actually, to me, there is, because the first Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, and a lot of people go to that. Okay, we tried that once, and that really wasn't a good plan. And then you got Mother's Day, which Mike has mentioned here, and then after that you've got Memorial Day weekend. So really, there's only one good weekend, which is last weekend, to do a show, and we chose to do it in Port St Lucie. Now, again, I'm going to just stick with Port St Lucie again. And hey, Ron, thanks for coming out. And Rox, oh wow, okay. Thank you for coming out and watching. Eminem and Brian is bringing some great stuff this weekend. And then we got Mark. He's got a huge booth, 10 by 20, right out there. He's going to have like 5 tables out there of stuff. So I don't know what he's bringing, but he's bringing a lot. Okay. And then we got Ellen. Thanks for coming out. You got some great items in a big space this weekend. And Alex, who hasn't been to Kissimmee yet, is coming out. He's going to have some great stuff. We got some really good vendors, guys, coming out. And then we also got the Lakeland Ghostbusters, in addition to, Brutus here coming. And we have Abe. Yes, he's not cooking. Let me just really quick, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Port St Lucie, and then I'm going to kind of move on. So right now, I'm not planning on booking another show there immediately, especially not this year. I don't know if I'll do it at the same place. I don't think there's anything wrong with the location that, I mean, we had some hiccups in parking. We've had some hiccups with the food. We've had some hiccups, but just because we go somewhere and we do a show, it doesn't mean that we're always going to stay at that location. I really think, to me, we're looking at trying to build an audience and see the traffic go, the attendance go up. And right now, we're not seeing that, and it's frustrating the vendors, and because they want something else. They want to have vendors want a home run every time. I mean, and I shoot for that every time, but you know, that doesn't happen all the time. I mean, as much as we want it to happen, there's a lot of different factors, that can be happening. I think last fall we had that thing in Tampa where there was a huge amount of layoffs in Amazon, and I really think that affected, one of our shows. I mean, it's just amazing, all the little things that it's a lot about timing. So I don't know when we'll have another Port St. Lucie show. We're very happy. I'm very happy with the West Palm show. I'm very happy with the Coral Springs show. I'm very happy with, even the Cocoa show has actually picked up. Now, we're not going to do that this summer. We're not going to go back there right now this year. We are, that I know of right now, we're going to, because I am still working on November, but we are going to be going to Melbourne. We're going to try that, see how that goes. We and all that. So hopefully, that all works out. So now I want to talk before I get into Kissimmee and the setup. I'm going to now, for all you vendors that are on here for Kissimmee, and again, I appreciate you being on here. I'm going to talk about the setup times. I'm going to talk about the building. I'm going to talk about the parking. I'm going to talk about all that in just a minute. Okay. But before that, I want to make you guys aware of something, and that is scammers on our page. Okay. I'll make the screen bigger here in just a moment. But I wanted to share with you guys, if you see this stuff, please report it to me. We did have a vendor that I haven't seen him in a while, but we did have a vendor report this, and this is amazing. Okay, to me, I mean, it's just ridiculous that people would think that they could get away with this, but don't fall for it. Okay, basically, on our page, on our Facebook page, I literally have to be on my phone all the time, pretty much. Okay, because yes, I will make it bigger here in just a second, Jonathan. I want to explain it, and then okay, well, maybe let's go ahead and make it bigger here. Okay, so what's happening here is, in this particular case, is well, let me explain this real quick. Sorry. Okay, so on our page, what happens is, and I'll make it bigger in just a second, but what happens is we get people that come on our page, or our ads that were run in 4 different events, and I think it's like a bot, okay, that basically hijacks somebody's name and then creates a message that maybe there's somebody behind this. And what they do is and you guys have probably all seen them, where they're basically saying, hey, we have vendor space available, contact us directly, blah 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 blah. Okay, I mean, there's hundreds of them. Okay, there's not just my events, but all kinds of events. In addition to that, we have people that post stuff for sale on our pages. Okay, hey, I have this stuff, you want to buy it, whatever. They're trying to promote their items on our ads. And then also shows, people promote shows, like other people's shows. Hey, come to our show, screw this show, come to our show. Okay, that happens also. All right. Now, but this is the one that is just unbelievable to me, which is basically, this is a group called Florida Events Festivals Needing Vendors. Okay. And some Maria person who's probably, I don't know if it's a bot or whatever. Okay. Basically took our event that was on the fairgrounds website and basically copied it and made their own. Let me go ahead and go to that ad. So they made an ad for our show, and then was like, hey, this aerial person said, this is a scam. This is really run by us. And I'm watching posts in the group, and almost all of them are from scammers. I know your events are legit because I have friends that do them. At some point I will be out of town to actually vend. Okay, cool. All right. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe AI or something. These bots are creating these events, but I'm just letting you know that we don't do this. Okay. We don't do this. The only way that I'm sure everybody that's on this video is probably knows about, knows that the only way that you're gonna able to get a spot at our show is if you go to our website. Okay, hold on. If you go to our website, all the events that we have are listed here. So you'll see vendor registration and tickets. All of these, you can click on any of these links and you'll go to the Eventany page, which is going to list out the events. It's not going to look like this for you, but it looks like that for me. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me show you this. It looks like this in Eventany for me. Okay. So it would link you to, if you click on one of these links that underneath each event, it'll link to the Eventany page. See? All right. So to me, all right, here's an Eventany page, and then you can apply here. But if you don't if you don't get it that way, then you're not, or on our page, on our Facebook page, and you message me, it's not legit, basically. Okay. So please, be aware of that. I don't want anybody to get scammed. I have had a couple new vendors that have said, hey, they mentioned somebody's name, and I said, I don't know that. Basically, as of right now, until we get, maybe more staff or whatever, when you message the page, you're messaging me directly. Okay. Or if you message me on Eventany, you're messaging me directly. Okay. I am also available via email, floridatoyshows@gmail.com. So if that is our official, or event manager at floridatoyshows.com. I haven't put that out there, but we do have that email also. But those are the only emails. Okay. Everything else is going to be a scam. Okay. All right, Marcy, thanks for coming out. And then here it said we had to turn off posts on our all event page because, but yeah, it's rough, man. And then the thing is, we're trying to promote the event, and I don't know. I feel like Facebook needs to do something. So I wanted to make sure that you guys are all aware of that and all of that. So let me go ahead and move on to Kissimmee. This weekend we're gonna have Brutus. Again, we're gonna have our friends at Lakeland Ghostbusters. We'll be there. We will also have, I think, a Jurassic Park Jeep. I think that's right. Or Ecto Ghostbusters one. I'm not sure. The guy that I know that has a couple of vehicles, he said, hey, do you have room for my Jeep? So I don't know how he's got it set up. I'm thinking now that it's Ghostbusters. Okay. Anyway, okay, so he'll be there. We are going to be in the large room. All right. And what that means is that we're gonna hold on. I'm just setting up another. I don't know why I stopped that. Let's see. We're gonna be in the large room. Let me go ahead and, sorry guys. You don't need that right yet. I think I'm going to show you the map here first. Okay, so we're going to be in the event center. This is Osceola Heritage Park, the event center. Okay, you see that? Hopefully you guys see that. If not, let me zoom in. We're in this building. Normally we're in the front of this building, okay, in a smaller room, which we will be back in that room come October 3rd. All right. In October 3rd, we'll be back in our normal spot, because I just think that this is still too big for us, but we're going to find out. We can evaluate that afterwards at the end of the show. Okay. But basically we're in this big space. We're taking up half of this big space in the back. If you guys have been to Infinity Con, that's the show that we've been. We've also done that show. We've done our Super RetroCon in that space. Okay. It's a big space. All right. It's over 20,000 square feet. I'm going to have Pipe and Drape cutting off some of it, but basically we're going to have half this space. So you're going to come in. The best way to do it is to come in over. I mean, you can use some road to get back there, but To me, I usually go to the 7-Eleven. Where is that? Oh yeah, so it's this Mexican food restaurant, but there's a 7-Eleven there. Anyway, you go down here and you come back, and actually you can park back here behind the building. I think if you come on Friday, that's probably you would want to do that. Saturday, I'm not sure because it's going to be hot. And so I don't know if we're going to have the roll up door open or not. It's really going to be, I'm not sure if we're going to have the roll up door. Let me go ahead and since I am showing that again, you know, we are in this building and then there is a space back there. Let me show you that. Okay. See, there is a bunch of parking back here. So we're going to be over here. So you would come through this gate and then kind of go, basically there's an opening here. Okay. We're in the left side. All right. And then, okay. Now the other thing here is, so tomorrow morning, I'm adjusting this page, but tomorrow morning, you're going to get a link that's to our website in the setup page. Let me make sure you're seeing that. Yep, you are. Okay. And you're going to get the this setup page. Basically, it talks about the times. It's got a map. If you guys have been using my page, I just kind of copy this and change the text. And then down here, it shows the map of where it is. And then the building that we're in. Okay. And this is what it looks like from the outside. So if you have any questions, you can hit me up. But basically, all the times are here. I'm going to reconfirm tomorrow with the what's going on is they have some graduations going on. This Osceola Heritage Park and Lakeland have graduation. So I have not been able to really normally like on Tuesday or hey, I mean yes, we'll see you in Tallahassee. Thank you for mentioning that. We're looking forward to being up there. So the what I was saying is that yeah, I don't remember what I was saying. That the Tallahassee comment really got me, but squirrel. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so basically, I was not able to. Normally, what I do is I go over Monday or Tuesday. I'll go over with the before the event. I'll go over with whoever the coordinator is. Make sure all our tables are correct. Make sure that our times are correct. Make sure that everything is good. Make sure there's nothing that is changed. Okay. Make sure they have our map. Make sure they have all of our tables and all of that stuff. So I haven't been able to do that today because they have graduations. And so tomorrow I'm going to be able to do that. So once I confirm everything, confirm all those times, which he did confirm the times, then I will send out a link so everyone will have via messenger or not messenger, but a message text on their text message. Everyone will get the link to that page and all of that stuff. Okay. So thank you for your patience on that. And yes, Pam, there is setup on Friday. Okay. From 3 to 9. So let me go ahead and go over that page with you guys. So thank you for mentioning, Pam. Normally when we do the Kissimmee show, and I'm going to go over this, when we do the small space, I don't have setup time because they do charge us for that. And it's a very small room. Well, it's a small room, small enough to where we don't need that. Okay. 20% of the people don't, only about 20% of the people come to set up. Sometimes I'm spending $2,000 for you guys to have a setup day. In this case, I am paying $2,000 or more because it's half of the building cost to have a setup day on Friday. And then I want to say it's irritating, but it's not. Sometimes it's like, it seems like more people would take advantage of this, but that's okay that they don't, because I get it. You got hotel rooms, you got all of this stuff. And sometimes it's just easier to just do, come in the morning, set up in 2 hours. I get it. No problem. But if you want to take advantage of that so you can see your space, map it out, bring some stuff. You don't have to bring everything. Okay, this what this does is it makes sure that you have your space all mapped out. You know what you bring in. You have the space, because you know what happens during the show or at the beginning in the morning is some people get there right away, and then some people get there later, and then now someone's built something right next to you, right on the line, and then we get people that are frustrated, because they don't feel they have their space, even though they do, but anyway, that has happened. So in the future now for the October 3rd, so the answer is, Pam, we will have space. We will have setup on Friday. Okay, starting at 3:00. Okay, I need to get in there, and then is it possible to set up earlier? No. The answer is you can message me, but I have to get in there. I'm going to be there about noon, and then I'm going to basically make sure all the tables are correct and everything is set up correct, and all the names are on the tables and all of that, so that when you guys do show up, when you guys do show up, it's ready to go. Okay. Thanks, Joel. Cool. Awesome. So come on out, and we're there till 9. So anyway, so this page will be sent out tomorrow, a link, but basically it's just talking about the times. There's a link here to the thing that I showed you, and then when we're closing, and then talking about not packing up, etc. Okay, all of that will be there. Okay, so that is, so again, now I will say on what I'm going to talk about here is the schedule. Now, the October 3rd Kissimmee, we also will have a Friday setup. Now, why is that? Because you just said, Jeff, that the room is going to be the small room, and you don't normally do that. I'm at the point now where if I can buy a setup time, I'm going to try to do it. Okay, because I want to have time, even if I'm the only one in there. I would like to have time to make sure that my stuff is all, that all the tables, like that all the tables are correct, that all the chairs are there, that everyone's name is on the table. I want the goal now is for these things to run as smoothly as possible, and then market the show more. Okay. What we're doing, we're working on that. We have Sean working on with vendors more. We're going to have TK at some of the other shows. And the goal here is just to make sure everything runs as smooth as we can. And we have no, at Altamont, unfortunately, I kind of got surprised with the 6 foot by 18 tables. Great space. The hotel is nice. The location is great. We're going to use it multiple times. But it's just, I got a little surprised on the tables because the morning of. So I'd rather not do that. But let me go and make it that bigger. Okay. So again, October 3rd, there will be a Friday setup on that show also. And then, yeah. So the other thing I want to mention about Kissimmee, October 3rd, that is in the smaller room. We are also back at Altamont for the fall show the next day. Okay, the next day we're going to try something that we've never tried, which is basically across town. And I really think it's two different types of two different groups of customers, but we're going to find that out. And then it's like a 2-day show, but in 2 different areas. Okay. Now, both of these rooms are not crazy big. Okay. So, I am going to be posting both of those shows tomorrow. You're going to see those go up on our page. You're going to get a text. If you are a vendor already of those shows, you're going to get text. So all of those tables are going to be first come, first basis. Now, first registration, first in. Okay. First come, first serve, as my wife just said. Now, and you might say, well, why are you posting events that far out? Well, 2 reasons. One is we have other promoters that are putting dates out. They're getting people to register. People have to make decisions. And so I got to get these events out there so that people know and they can make a decision, hopefully to do my show. All right, that's what I'm looking for. But so that's one reason. The second reason is I got to pay these guys. They're already hitting me up for money, so I've got to pay deposits and all of that. So I'm gonna just put it out there. So I've given I got a contracts with these shows, and so I'm just gonna put it out there. But the main reason is that there's other promoters, and for in every area that we run in, there's promoters in every area. So yeah, and there's every area that we run in, there's other promoters, and they all want to fill our space, basically. I mean, I suppose that I'm maybe thinking the wrong thing, but that's just how it seems to me. Okay. All right. Yeah. Trent, we have September 27th for Bradenton. That has been confirmed with, where is it? Oh, it doesn't fit on here. You caught me here, Trent. It's not on there. I need to update this. So it will be. September 27th is going to be Bradenton. We're going to be back in Bradenton. I was waiting on, she did confirm the date, and then she didn't send the contract yet, but basically she did confirm the date, and she's sending a contract. So we will be there on the 27th. Whether the farmers market is there, I don't know. She said that they didn't have like a contracted thing or something yet for them. So, but yes, we will have September 27th. And then also I need to follow up with the September, the World Golf Village, which will be one day there in September is my plan. Okay. I still have a November show that I'm going to do at least one. Probably will be Ocala and maybe some other show. I'm not sure. I'm working on some different things. Okay, let me just go and so again, I want to reiterate. Sorry, I probably just left the schedule up. That I will be putting this September or October 3rd and 4th up tomorrow. And let's see. I'm just going through over my notes here, just make sure I've covered everything. Brutus. Okay, Brutus will be joining us. Big space. Setup. Thoughts. Okay. All right. I want to just before we go here, I think we're doing pretty good this year. We definitely are we're up, in attendance overall. And I think, where the events are running pretty good. Sean and is doing a great job setting up and taking down. I think we need to get our Hot Wheels track back running. I know he was doing an upgrade and we haven't seen it in a little bit. But we'll have that back, and then you're gonna start seeing ads for Tampa Toy Con. But I just wanted to talk about a little bit about our schedule, and we've been running pretty hard here. Like last year, 25 events. I think if I add the September 27th, we're gonna have 25 events without November. Or what is that right, Lisa? You think? Yeah. And so the problem that I see with this is, and I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying that, right now, and I know, and I got a lot of stuff, guys, and all that. I'm not complaining. Okay. So I just want to say that, I'm spending a lot because we're doing so many events. Pretty much I'm spending, like, whenever we make money, it's all going out to basically deposits for new shows. And it's like, at some point, I think, okay, should I be doing all these shows? And it's not because somebody else is doing a show or someone thinks that I'm doing too many shows. It's just that, when we go to an area and maybe things don't work out like we think they are, and it kind of makes it, maybe I should have, kind of maybe narrow it down a little bit, maybe take a little bit more time to market each one, and not have as many. But that's just my thoughts of the day. Just something that I'm did we have any guest announcements? I'm gonna do guest next week. I will be talking about guest announcements for the Tampa Toy Con. I'm gonna be running the ads here soon. I'm working on. I think we're gonna have 5 or 6 guests. Some of them were there last year because they do live local, and stuff. But yeah, and then I'm looking forward to see you guys too on this weekend. I haven't seen you guys in a little while, or I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Maybe it was a month ago, but we're looking forward to seeing you. But yeah, so I don't know. So I feel like we're doing a lot. I feel like just I don't know. Maybe we'll make some changes next year. Some of the things, just because we went there this year doesn't mean we're going to go there next year. I even think, our Lakeland show needs to be revamped. As far as the date, I'm going to try this June 7th, but that's probably not the date. Maybe we'll go back to where we were. Anyway, there's just a lot of shows happening. And I think for me, I've been trying to fill holes where I didn't think there was a show. And it's like, I feel like whenever I go somewhere, now all of a sudden it's like a flood of events. Again, this is Jeff's view. This is not what you guys see. Okay. I want to have a great event. I want to have every show that we do great. That's my goal, is to have everyone have a great time and vendors come out and make money, and just that's the goal. So anyway, I think just one more thing on the schedule. So Ocala is still sold out. Okay. I have space. If somebody is not in Kissimmee, I have like a couple aisles left because the space is so big. But I will not have space in the fall. I can guarantee you that. If you wait more than a week after I post this show, you can forget it. It's going to be sold out. You'll be on the waiting list. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not being cocky. I'm just being honest, because it's like 50 tables. And I just think like that is at Osceola Heritage Park. We're going to find out. Maybe I need to go stay with the bigger room, but we'll see. I got some space still in Central at Lakeland, mostly because there's a wrestling show that people have already signed up for over on the other side. But that doesn't mean unless you're really into wrestling, you're not going to drive all the way up there from, let's say, Lakeland. So I still do have that. That is 100%. And then Tallahassee, I do have some space. If you guys are interested in that, I got maybe some discounted space, whatever. It's cheap already, guys. It's only $75 a table. So if you guys want to make a trip up there, we have over 2,000 people interested in the show, which that does bring me up one other thing. And then we got Tampa Toy Con. Everything else has space right now. Okay, everything else has space. One other thing I do want to mention on the Kissimmee show for this weekend. If you go to the event on our page, I did a screw up. So I've been like looking at these numbers. I'm like, how is it possible that we have 4,400 interested in this show that usually gets around 2,000 interested? Okay. And and I'm like, what's going on here? I haven't really done anything differently. I have a plan. And what I do is, one of the things that, I can put out there is basically I am focused on local. I am not, my belief is that people do not drive. They will not drive more than 20 miles unless it's super special. They're not going to drive more than 20, 25 miles to do it, to go to a show. Okay. Unless they are hardcore collectors, or they just really want to go to that show. So what I do is I focus most of my marketing on local, around the event location. That's what I do. I mean, I probably shouldn't be telling everybody this, but that's my plan. In this case, I marketed to the entire state. So people that probably are up north, they don't care about Kissimmee, or somewhere they probably just said interested. So I'm not expecting necessarily more than we normally get, but who knows? It could happen. I'm just, we've been running this show for what is it, since we started, since 2020. Well, 2020, that was March 2020. So we've been running this show 6 years, okay, at the same location. And so I have a pretty good idea of how many people show up no matter what I do. Okay. And Orlando is just like that. You're not getting press and all that stuff. But yes, David, we will have Brutus Beefcake, who's never been to Kissimmee with us. Now, I don't know if he's been somewhere else, but he hasn't been with us. And date was wrong. Okay. I will look that up, actually. Thanks for mentioning that, Kim. I will look into that date. Okay. Thanks for mentioning that. Okay. All right. So I think that's it. That's all my notes. I appreciate everybody coming out. Again, we have a great show coming up this weekend. There is no parking for vendors fees. There's no fee for parking this weekend. Sorry. I may not have clarified that. All parking for this weekend is free. All right. There's a reason why I picked this date instead of the March date that we normally have. And that is because in March, they wanted to charge $15 for parking. So this one here, okay, this date here, they're not charging for parking. So that's why we, tomorrow you will get a text with all of the times with a link to the page that I showed you. Okay, Ron? All right. See you later there, Mike. All right, guys. Have a good night. I will talk to you soon. See you on Friday or Saturday. And I look forward to seeing you at the show. Have a good weekend. If you don't see me, and talk to you soon. Bye now, guys.